Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Tecno Afrika podcast. I'm your host, Victor.
And what?
And
And I'm your host, Jessy. These are the home editions once again. They're very casual as they come.
Anyway,
Ukisikia mtu anagonga audio assistant.
kwa you unexpected guests, those visitors who just come randomly, they don't call. Wasishtuke, we might have to like cut this thing short hapa. And then, anyway, on this episode, we're supposed to talk about consumerism. And just random stories that tech kama kawaida, as we always do.
Yeah.
As you know, Tecno really launched the Camon 20 series, and we are part of the launch and the partnership.
Yeah.
And so we feel like this topic is going to like gel with whatever we are supposed to like do with them.
Yeah, and beyond even that, to shoot this episode with the Tecno Camon premiere. Camon 20 premiere, exactly. So you guys tell us, the video iko aje? Do you love also the phone, the quality, the audio? The audio definitely natoka kwa mic, but some will be picked by the camera.
They dubbed this the content creators phone.
Yeah, the content creator phone, and we'll get to see mbona wanasema hivi.
So tuliamua, let's just try and see if it is really a content creator's phone.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on, Jessy.
Yeah, since tunaongelea consumerism, we're talking about consumerism, gadgets.
Yeah, gadgets.
Yeah. And I have a question for you, Vicky. What was your first experience, as in with gadget consumerism? Ulipewa your first gadget, or you bought it first?
First gadget.
Yeah.
First gadget, nilipewa, I think.
Which was it?
Is it supposed to be like a smartphone or something like that?
No. Just any gadget. Just any gadget that you first consumed.
I had a Game Boy. Back when I was like little, Tambo, our parents used to like, my parents, nacha nijiongelele because I don't know if your parents do the same thing. Back then, in our house, we have a culture of celebrating birthdays. So back then, I used to have like birthday parties or ukweli, and people come and they bring gifts. So back then, the economy wasn't so bad kama it is these days. But anyway, I remember one of the things I ever got was a Game Boy. That was the first thing I remember. I used to love that thing. I don't even know where it went. Ilipotea tu somewhere in the house. I think I even forgot about it. But yeah, that was the first thing.
Okay.
And you?
Bro. I immediately grew up ghetto. So, gadget ya kwanza either kama si ya kuomba msee, ile nasema ebu nipea atie nicheki this stuff. It's a calculator my sister had.
Calculator?
Yeah, the Casio. That was the first gadget I held. So I actually never borrowed it. What happened is, she left it on the counter, and I'm like, what kind of calculator is this? So I turned it on. Now turning it off is the problem because you have to shift and then off. But then at that age, I never knew how to. So that was the first gadget, a calculator. But the rest, as a kid, I used to borrow. So the first one is a calculator. We could get on at your life now.
But anyways, you progressed in life and then you get to a point where you actually got your first phone.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Let me see my first. I had a dark life that was in the past. So, I had a dark life. It's one of those transformed by now. We had dirty lives. And the first gadget I owned was not what?
I would other stories. I wouldn't ask.
Yeah, don't ask the.
I would
don't ask the details.
what phone was it anyway?
Samsung SM something. Just
I know that.
tiny Samsung SM something. Because at that age, I think it was those days kulikuwa na the ideals phones. Yeah. So unacheki mse na hiyo phone because unajua ideals they were high end kind of products, and then kuna hizi za hapo katikati.
Ideals ilikuwa za Huawei.
I'm not so sure. But kenye najua zilikuwa affiliated na Safaricom mingi at that time, because najua Safaricom,
everyone wanted one.
Yeah, everyone wanted one. At that time Safaricom still with the shops and the bonga points and blah blah blah. So you used to get like a good ideas phone for like some mega bonga points and that kind of thing.
So that was your first smart, the Samsung.
Yeah,
Samsung. I don't hizo makodi ni mingi.
Yeah.
Me personally, my first smartphone was what? I think I had nilikuwa na chat to it had a quite the ones that looked like the Blackberries.
They had good tactile when you're pressing.
It was actually a really good phone at the time. You know, obviously times have changed right now.
Yeah.
But it was actually a good phone. The first touch screen one was an Infinix. But me nilikuwa na Infinix way before even people had. Because I remember my mom was gifted this phone by a friend. And then the next year, the same friend gifted her another phone.
Yeah.
And so me, obviously, me ndo niko. Like, so me obviously simi nikapewa. So me had, I don't remember, it was Infinix Diamond, ama kitu kama hiyo. I still have it in the house, although it's not like functioning. Experience with that phone was like amazing. Because I never had a smartphone before. Like, I haven't like, I don't remember what the browser, I think it was Chrome or something like that. But I never had.
Majority used to come with the Opera.
Yeah. I don't remember really well what it had, but the experience on that phone was like different. Alafu, you see this certain Infinix, ilikuwa the home button, they took like a jewel. So it like a diamond, because it was the Infinix partnered with Swarovski something. Swarovski is a diamond jewelry shop or something like that. So hapo katikati kwa home button, it had that like it was diamond like, it wasn't an actual diamond. So everyone would ask me, hey, is this real? I'm going to ski out back, hey, I didn't go to ski.
That was flagship then.
That was way before even people knew Infinix in Kenya. Yeah, that was the first one. But now, really I didn't big idea. And we moved on.
So we transitioned to yenye ulibuy. You bought your first smartphone when ukakaa nayo for how long?
The first one I bought, obviously sikubuy yote na pesa yangu. The parents chipped in. I bought a Nokia 6.1 Plus. I stayed with it from, it was around 2 years. It's 2 years, I'm 1.5, almost 2 years. I think it was 2 years actually. Yeah. That was my first smartphone that I bought.
But for me, actually, siko sure kama ni those smartphones I used to have with the ways the government is doing to us, but I used to have also an Alcatel, it's known as OT305. I don't know if you know it. Then iko unajua ni red, and then
Funny.
No. Just one Marago, and then it had and then it had like some button ukifanya sana, it swells on the button. The keypad swells. I used to have also those, but then I don't even remember my first phone and why. But I know I never used to stay with phones for like longer period of time, basing also on the culture that I was having back then. But coming to own my own device with my own money was a Huawei P9.
Yeah, well, okay.
That was also was a second hand, not bought. Yeah, Huawei P9. Ilionyeshwa mambo hapa Dagoretti corner. Yeah. So it was taken off my money, my pocket. So yeah. But my first phone was Huawei P9. I love that phone. Huawei back then was making the camera so good.
Huawei was actually destined to become like really great. You played somewhere hapo katikati when they started having wars with the US.
Don't mess with the US. But then, Vicky, now that you bought your first phone, it's the Nokia 6.1.
Yes, it was 6.1 plus.
What features did you look for into that before you bought that smartphone? Like, since now we're talking consumerism, now we have moved from the part where you're taking it from what, like, people are gifting you. Now you're making your own decisions.
Okay. At the time, obviously, first of all, when you're starting to look for a smartphone, you're obviously attracted to the high-end stuff.
Yeah.
Because, the high-end stuff says, it's like, hiyo ndio yani inavutia. Yani, it's what like looks good, it's what umezoea kuona. But you can't really, depending on your budget, always like get that. But features I checked before I actually decided to buy that smartphone. I actually looked at a lot of different smartphones. I know everyone does, but at the time when I bought that phone was released I think a year ago. So, and I didn't really want to get a smartphone from that same year. So I checked the specs and I was like, you know what? This phone seems like it's way better than these others that are being produced currently.
Yeah.
So obviously the first thing I checked kwanza, it was a camera. Obviously camera niliona ikona like it was, I don't know, it was 16 megapixel on the front and the back camera. I told myself this is decent. At that time, my SIM was equal like crazy size. Yeah, 108 megapixel, like this Tecno. You have like, I think 100 megapixels, like on the S22. It is S22, S21.
If I go with the 200 megapixel that people right now know.
Yeah. Phones wasn't that crazy. You got 16 megapixel. If you go so far, mbele sana, it was like 32? 32, I think 32 was like
50.
32
or 50.
Yeah. 59, if you get a phone that was 50 was crazy. Like in the first thing, camera. Second thing was the screen. I checked the screen and I was like, because of course before I'd nilikuwa nimeshika different phones of different people around me. And I was like, this screen looks different from this one and the colors, say naangalia niko na the technicals zinanibamba, so I have to like see hii color inakaa hivi na hivi. So the screen was the second thing. I decided to compromise on battery life na software updates. Kwa hiyo ilikuwa na software updates by
Nokia very shitty in software updates. No.
But at the time it was decent compared to these other companies. They were like giving 2 years. I don't know if they still give 2 years, because I think in 2023 you can't be giving 2 years. You have to be doing something like 3 at least.
Yeah, on the minimum.
But at the time I got like two software updates. What else? It was a Type-C. It's basic things too zilikuwa tu hapo. And then nikabuy simu and I was like, wow, amazing.
Your first cash,
amazing. I remember I went home that day. I didn't nikaonyesha my dad. I was like, amazing. Yeah? Amazing.
Of the press play.
Amazing. Mind you, it's not a flagship voice. I think it was a mid-ranger.
Those are budget.
That's a budget.
But Nokia,
Look at it up, Nini.
those were entry with the 6.2 back then.
Yeah,
because
because kwanza, let me tell you something about those phones. Those phones, the specs was jump everything nice inside those phones, because they had to I think they were trying to find a way into the market, back in the market.
Yeah.
So everything was put into that phone, aesthetic. It was, but it was. I really loved that phone because it was ilikuwa inakaa poa. It had I don't know if it was actually glass on the back or it was something that was
it's ceramic, the same way with the 6.2, if I'm not wrong.
It ilikuwa poa. Everything was the camera was decent, video was decent. They used to pack a lot of features into this phone.
Yeah.
But actually, the main thing that actually attracted me to that phone was the store card rate. Haikuwa na bloatware at all. Actually, I think ilikam na kitu sikumbuka I think it had one app, because Nokias are not for the African market, the Indian market. So it came with an app, Street India something. I don't remember what it was. Hiyo niliweka tu hapo nikai disable. That's your story. Everything else came stock. That was I saw that nikasema, this is now what I want. But anyway, I know ilikuwa phone ili spoil anyway. But move on
in life. For me, reasons why nachaguka phone, it's totally different. I don't, the same. You remember the question I asked last time? Why would you go buy a 4K experience and you don't know even how 4K looks like? Now, this is me. I don't know those numbers, how they look like. I've never interacted with those numbers. So I'm like, this camera is dope. This screen is shit. This phone is big. See, I'm thinking like a normal person now. It has space. But then, with a flash phone, it's behaving so fast. You're not even thinking let me go check the RAM if it's 8 or if it's 4. It has been flashed. It's moving fast. You're transitioning fast in everything. So those are the reasons why I chose the Huawei P9. It had a good camera. That was dope. No cap. Because whatever the eye sees, that is what it sees.
I remember when I used it. It was nice.
That one was quant. But Nairobi told me.
The UI, I think, is what that's. I looked at it and I was like,
Huawei should continue. I think they should make their own custom room and continue doing they're doing.
That thing was nice. That thing.
They should just continue doing. But now, since you're a very technical guy, you check all the numbers and blah, blah, blah. Do you believe the numbers that these phones are having? 7500 MediaTek, 200 megapixel camera, 108 on this Tecno,
Okay. For some, for starters, most of these companies play with our minds. Starters. So you go take, for example, you buy your phone, imesema 256 GB. No. You get 256 when the Samsung launched in January. Was it in January? I think it was in February. It was in early February. And the Samsungs launched. See, of course, they launched their 128 gigs, the 256 gigs. Alafu, they launched now the 512. And I don't know if there's a 1 terabyte in it's sure. But now, after some time, people realized, the Samsung system is taking up a lot of down space there. I think on the 256, it took 15 inches.
That's some huge.
So they tell me, you buy a phone, uko sure you have 256 gigabytes. You are shooting, maybe those Samsungs, they shoot 4K. Same with this phone, they shoot 4K. I don't know. I think they shoot 4K. And you know how 4K is. Unajua vile 4K takes up a lot of space. So tell me, if you decide you bought this phone and you are creating, ulikuwa create nayo, you are like making like movies ama vitu kama hizo. Si wingeja mapema ume account for like 256 gigs, kumbe you only have 200 gigs ama less,
exactly.
Alafu the numbers most of the time unapata inasema a 6 nanometer processor, but the processor is from like some few years back.
These numbers even most people don't even know.
People don't normally check on these things.
Because anyway, we are back. So don't worry about anything that goes on in the house. It's a typical home studio, so you get the premium feel. So again, people don't know these numbers. 6 nanometer. First time I went to review a phone, a tech quiz, I was really struggling with these numbers. You know, a tech quiz, they have to read the numbers. No offense, yes, the numbers are good.
Don't feel like reviews with numbers make sense. Not that they don't make sense, as in, if I'm buying a phone, yes, the numbers matter, but show me what this phone can.
But what that phone can do is based on the numbers. For some, like 200 megapixel in a picture. You know, the way they said to design a billboard, you need a big screen.
Yes.
But definitely it's not a big screen. You just need a small screen. You can design on it. So, so people are used to that. So, me, then if the numbers, they play a big part. I think it's just a marketing gimmick. Easy numbers in the marketing gimmick, because me telling my mom, iPhone inapiga picha kali na iPhone inapiga 200 megapixel, atachukua 200 megapixel over kitu what you say ini kali, because she believes 200 ni kubwa. You know,
because the numbers are used to attract.
Yeah, the numbers are what are attract. You see, the way, I don't know who said this one has 212 megapixel cameras, and then she says it has a 24. Women in tech, you people know who it is. But you see what the numbers are doing. What the numbers are doing. These numbers are basically true or false. You see, because I give you an OLED screen and I give you a 4K, for someone who is very technical, they'll know the difference. For someone who doesn't, Ishida.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
So yes, your phone can be shooting a 200 megapixel photo, but kwanza the point where if you send it by WhatsApp, most people don't know that. Of course, easy labda watu wanajua, yes, but our parents hawajui hii kitu. Hao wanaona hii picha inakaa tu venye ilipigwa. Yeah, exactly. So at first you saw that like say WhatsApp renders at 200 megapixel or less now.
Yeah.
So the numbers are used to attract. Hata mimi naweza kuwa attracted, man. 200 megapixel.
But you see, me pali nilichora line is this one can take 12 megapixel and then they give me a camera. I know the sensors are very different.
Of course, you can't compare a phone sensor and a camera sensor because of the size.
Yes, but now you see, that is where me drew the delimiter basing on the knowledge. You remember, I come from a place where there's no numbers in my head. So I'm like, hit 12 ni tofauti. Not knowing the mathematics and the mechanism that
of course, different sensors have different.
Yeah, exactly.
Different phone companies use different sensors, and so there might be a difference. And not there is a difference.
A big difference.
But the numbers
are just marketing gimmick.
Do the numbers matter?
Not. They don't matter.
They should tell us. They should tell us whether the numbers matter to them.
I just go the Apple way. This thing is 2 times faster. This thing is 5 times bigger.
They play a safe game, by the way.
Yes, that is a very
safe game.
Because you see, you can actually see the difference. Someone gives me this phone and they tell you this phone is 200 times brighter, and they give you this another one, it's 1 times brighter. You see, you'll see the difference compared to someone telling you this phone is faster compared to this one.
600 nits, 800 nits,
Yeah,
1500, yeah, whatever.
you see, it's a little bit different. So, I don't think those numbers really make an impression to me.
Apple can do that because they are like a big company. Everybody knows Apple.
Yeah.
Everybody knows them, so they have established themselves. So these other companies, they have to use these numbers to actually now bring it, because Apple has a really big share of the market, the smartphone market. I don't know if it's like 40% or something like that.
Do you think if they like Apple did the numbers, like this is a 48 megapixel, and then Samsung gave them 48 megapixel, which one would you choose still? Knowing the brands.
I don't know. Because then that would have been a different case. Because it's the only company actually that actually doesn't
place the numbers. I think it places the numbers on the RAM and the hard disk. Coming to think of.
So the numbers don't matter.
Yeah. They don't. Father.
Anyway, how much can you spend on a phone, Karen?
This topic has shifted my mind. I used to be like, ikishuka sana ni 150K.
150?
Yes.
150,000?
Yes, on a phone.
Like 1, 2, 100, 1, 2, 3, 50. 150,000.
Hear me. Not because that phone is worth it. But I feel it deserves that 150. I feel like that phone deserves that 150.
That's actually really smart.
Not because I
know the smart in me. Yeah.
Group of skulls. Olympic group of skulls. But I feel that the phone deserves that. You see? Because someone else will come and I can spend 50K on it.
Yeah. Like the other day we were having that conversation at the studios, and I said, me I'd buy a phone worth 100K.
Yes.
And someone,
this studio went,
and then studio, everybody in the studio was like, what? Why?
Are you serious? I can't buy something. I can't buy a phone for like past 40,000. If I'm budgeting for a new phone, I'm going to spend 40,000.
Yeah.
If I go so high, hapo nimejifinya maybe 50,000. Someone was like, no, 30K is enough. And other people, maybe after my mom told me, why am I buying a phone for this much money? 20,000 is okay as long as the phone does the... Your mom, that is best. My dad can't even go past 10K. No.
So much is better. But I've noted, like, with the up and coming generation, we are easy with our money. We'd spend that money. That if a phone is 100,000,
to me a pesa ikuzoe.
Like it's Tecno also have like the X2. It's like 80-something thousand.
Yeah.
But price these days doesn't. You say the numbers don't matter. I don't think the numbers matter these days. Even if you have the money, you will spend that money. Actually, my advice: if you have the money, spend that money. To me, a pesa ikuzoe. 50,000. Nunua hii Premier.
You see, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and he said, utachelewa kulipo salary, ikuje kama ni probably analipo 30, so ikuje kama ni 90K. And then you wanted to buy like a double door fridge of around 85,000-87,000. So, and you have other things that are coming in between. So yeye ana prefer kubuy hiyo fridge, akikaa hivi njaa kwa nyumba anasema ile ni 90,000 yangu ilala mahali. So you see that feeling of, but if phone ni 120, ini 120 yangu ya February iko kwa mfuko. So anahesabu like, unajua mse ubai kitu kama asset. Unahesabu hiyo 120 ni west hapa katikati ni invest of phone. The next 10 months, haitakuwa imeshuka sana. Inaenda shuka ikuje kama so 120. Hiyo 120.
Maybe phones don't depreciate as very much
compared to any other thing. Yeah.
I think like, was it like the other Sunday? It was like 2 weeks ago. kuna this guy on Instagram aliweka the question sticker and he asked people, what's the worst investment that you've made up to this stage you are now? So most of his audience obviously ni my youth, sindio? So people wako hapo like sijui girls, wengine wako sijui mchuzi alisema nini, sijui land, watu wanasema sijui. Like, you're buying land. You're buying land and you're 23. Jamani. Hey,
want to say that.
Lakini if you buy this land, utangoja how long do you appreciate to the amount that you want? You get? So after all those people give their opinions, the guy comes and says, you know what? You know me, what I do? Currently, okay, the guy is a content creator. So he was like, currently, me I'd spend like 100,000. I'd feel if I had 100. I think no. And listen, me if I had like 100,000 or like 200, me I'd spend all that money either on a phone or a camera. Alafu eventually si nitakuwa na ido yangu ito yangu niko na hapa.
Unajua iko kwa phone ama
ninajua niko na hii mali phone. Nitatumia hii phone. I'll put it to use. Land yangu nikibuy huko, I don't know, somewhere in Kajiado or huko Naivasha somewhere. I would be seeing this land every day. Yeah. I won't go sleep on that land if I don't have a house.
You can't raise a land.
Yeah, obvious.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But this is that only, but you can't do that. You can't raise a land, you can't raise a house.
And then the funny thing after he said that, you know what? It was like, after every suffers, if it gets to a time where now he doesn't have money, unajua he can now sell his phone. It's easy to sell a phone these days.
Yeah,
it's easy. So now he can now sell his phone and he will get some money back. Of course, not all the money, but he will get some money back na anaweza survive. When you're trying to sell land, how will you sell it?
Atasina sijui process kwanza ya kubuy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, you guys kwanza, before Victor proceeds, you guys need to subscribe and tell us why, like, what is the best amount of money like you can spend on a device. Yeah, just subscribe, follow every other social media.
Yeah, I didn't even tell you how much I would spend on it.
Yeah.
I'd go all out, but all out.
That's the
all out.
That's the way.
All out. Sometimes even, of course, if it's that 200, 250, I'd go all out.
Yeah, I don't want to get that to 50 and then nisikie shosho yangu ametubairo lingia kwa masikio kind of problems, you know. And then watu wa nyumbani, they know, like,
because if you have that money and you have not spent it, you start buying some funny things up here and there. Sijui who has a problem. But me I'd spend the value of the money. If I feel like the phone is of that value, as you said, I would buy any phone. But that is if nilikuwa na hiyo pesa. I don't have that much. Manifesting that money.
We have a pay bill, guys. We have a pay bill, guys. We want those phones, we want those devices. I mean, you mentioned something. You mentioned that Tecno has the X2, Phantom X2.
Yes.
And there's a myth about brands that goes around.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a row after Tecno produced the X2.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when we were having the episode about creators, Elfas alikuja na X2 because
I remember.
I think it was reviewing.
It was the X2 or the X2 Pro.
He came with the X2 Pro.
Yes.
The one with the kickstand and blah blah blah. And kama zote ziko na kickstand. It was
cover. It was in the cover.
Yeah. So there's a myth that goes around and people are saying, I can't buy a Tecno device. Wait at that one.
You know, at first I was actually surprised that there's actually one that they produce that is
flagship. First of all,
the Phantom has always been flagship. They are flagship device. Because even kitambo, like a few years back, the Camons were like at was it like around 20-something thousand, 30,000? You know, at that time, people weren't like spending a lot of money on phones. You know, as time goes by, the prices will change, obviously, because people are now like feeling they're more free with spending their money, or they have more money these days compared to the other time. But anyway, a lot of people in the community were like surprised. Wait, You mean there's this phone for like 80,000?
Yeah, it brought around like, but now do you think the myth around brands, because entry level ya Tecno was first, unajua unaanza mdogo mdogo, it was just katululu maragwe phones, and then it came to upgrade. You see, it came to touch screens, blah blah blah, that growth and stuff. Up to now they have quality material.
Yes. Every company has done that, actually.
Yes. Now, do you think the myth around all these phone brands is usually like depending per the marketing of the company, or it's just a myth that mishiwezi buy kitu because of?
Actually, first of all, the greatest myth, I think, is that this phone company is established, meaning all their phones are good. Yeah. All their phones are good. Allow for this phone company, because it's not as big as this other one, it doesn't produce good.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you, first of all, I was genuinely surprised with this phone. I've had it for a while now, and I also used the other one, the Camon 20 Pro G. I had it even for a longer period compared to this one. Yeah. And let me tell you something, they are actually really good. They're actually really good. For the price, yes. Kuna competitors out there, but I don't feel like you should buy a phone because of the company. First of all. Of course, you can buy a phone because of the company. There are people who have dedicated their lives to buying Samsung, Apples, ZTEs, Tecnos, but there's more out there. First, people should open their mind. They go and try out these things and see what they have to offer,
or what they're missing out.
Yes, exactly. So there's a lot of myths around brands, but this myth is enough as it only. Enough to channel hizi myths. Okay, some it's only myths and misconceptions. Unga pale in like class 6 kulikuwa gana, so inasema myths and misconceptions about HIV and AIDS.
Send good.
Oh, hauku, so I forgot. Me no ilenda Googles.
But you remember if when Kilanchiwa, we went to experience the device, and majority of the people say that these devices come to launch in a curated experience that fits the phone. And I had an experience holding the Premier 5G when Daddy Mato was still asking the questions, blah blah blah, and they were asking me between these devices, and you could see this phone is actually offering a lot to the content creator, like let's say an entry content creator, or even the upscale,
if you're like on a budget.
Yeah, it's really offering like quality or on a lot of things that you'd spend on. First of all, because of its enhanced features with the AI and stuff, you're going that route.
I think it uses a lot of AI.
Yeah.
And the AI is actually genuinely really good.
Really good. And unapata content creator mwenye ajui kushoot things with lighting, with all these kind of things. This phone is really actually helping them, but people are not kind of considering such options, They're just duping and blah, blah, blah.
It's because we like banter online. There's a lot of banter on like different companies. And also I feel like people don't really embrace new phone companies as compared to other things. You remember they always said like Africans and Kenyans normally adopt things
very fast. The first time I had a phone called Poco. As me niko online nasikia wazao wanasema Poco yangu ni fine. Niko like, nishow your Poco. Anyway, yes, that's another story, but I don't know why a company would name its phone Poco. But
exactly, like how many people do you see with that Poco?
Watu wengi. Poco anatembea sana. But I know a couple of people who have the Pocophone into
you have to be like really into the tech stuff and you do it. Not really into like like you have an interest in like smartphones and technology, so that you know that there's actually a phone that is called the Poc.
It's like the way I knew Mr. Was the boss is called Arun Maini. And I'm like, does this guy know his name in Kenya? Anyway, I think one. Yeah, it's called Arun Maini. Maini, literally Maini. You know, when he comes to a butchery and says, Nipati Maini, and then you're given Mr. Who's the boss, and you're like, wondering what?
No. No. But the myths and misconceptions, I feel like it's just that we don't like most of the time we don't have time to like check out all different things. If there are stores around, but not for each and every phone company you see in the country.
Yeah,
we are limited.
You know, shout out to Tecno. They opened a store in Garden City, like the official store. So right now we're here in town. You won't call me, like you won't make these Tecno fakes. I will just go buy.
But you know, they were really in town actually sell with really good prices.
Yeah, they have good prices.
Like in the Tecno. I was in South Center. Hey, I haven't been there enough in a few years. So I'm walking there and with my friend. And one of a sudden, I look. I think it was on my left. Yeah, it was on my left. Bro,
Kona Poco.
no, come on. No, the Tecno shop.
Yeah,
The Tecno shop there is nice.
Sika is that how?
Oh, wow. I mean, I even thought it was. Have you ever seen the ones in like China and Japan? So is it China or whatever? That shop is nice. That shop is giving, and it attracts you even. You want to see what because they have like greenery. In like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, that shop was really nice. Genuinely, out. And it's not niko biased or anything. Like in your shop, that shop.
You see the problems of having a Jessy in. This guy has said the shop is giving, and me I'm wondering the shop is giving what? The shop is giving what? Anyway, we learn as we go. Victor, you've been having the Tecno for like quite some time. You've experienced it. You know, you know what it goes through.
Yeah.
I don't have questions, but I scrapped like 1 or 2 questions on the internet. First of all, the price though. This is because this is the premiere. They're talking about the premiere. Someone commented somewhere. The price though, just because of a simple AMOLED screen, you've experienced the 2 phones. You've experienced the Pro, you've experienced the Premier 5G.
You use the Pro. No.
Yeah.
You had the Pro for a minute. You've not really used the Premier as much.
Yeah.
Okay. You remember I said like the Nokia I picked because it was the screen was one of the factors. Saizi currently I've used this phone as the other phone, but I don't really notice that the screen is actually is an AMOLED. I don't know, maybe it's because my daily is not like, it doesn't have like this crazy screen.
Yeah.
Maybe if my daily had a crazy screen, then that would mean it would have a difference. But maybe it was how I like the way it looks. The colors, okay.
So do you think because it's priced around 50 Gs, that is in line with the Oppo Renos, the Vivo V27,
The
blah, blah, blah.
V27 is also in the same price range, and it also has an AMOLED.
Yeah.
So I don't really see why you can hate on it and its competitors have the same thing.
Does this go back kwa ile historia yetu ya myth za brand? Siwezi tumia 50 Gs kwa Tecno. Mwingine I can't spend 50 Gs on an Infinix. But you see, people hata watu wengi wajui the Infinix Itel, they're all one under one umbrella, you know.
Yeah.
So mtu ana prefer Tecno na buy anyway, unatoka kwa mfuko unatoka kwa mfuko. So people don't know. But do you think the price is fair?
The price. It should be. Because see, we were just checking, we were seeing the other phones that are their competitors.
Yeah.
Being same.
Exactly.
It's just that this one is like somewhere in the middle. Or even cheaper compared to the others.
Compared to the others.
But those zingine, they're like 54,000, 58,000. I think the Vivo V27 had like you got an option here like 50 something, 58,000, I think.
Yeah.
So I feel like the phone is decently cheap. Not cheap priced, I mean.
Yeah. So
it's okay.
Because now this is someone complaining that is expensive. Now there's someone complaining this is cheap, but then he says, what's the catch? Is it the ads in the devices? Is it bad speakers? Is it crazy bloatware? Now this is someone saying, hey, this is cheap. This phone is pretty good to be cheap. What is the catch in it?
The catch, I would say the ads in the device or the bloatware. First of all, the phone doesn't have ads in the device.
Yeah.
Trust you me, the phone doesn't have ads. Bloatware now is a lot. Remember I told you this is really peak. Phone it came with custom. Not custom, but stock Android. Of course, this phone they can't use stock Android because you have to pay for certain things, you know. But the bloatware, yes, there's bloatware.
Yeah.
But if you don't want the bloatware, you can there are others which you can remove and others you can just disable and it won't affect you. Yeah. But that's how they pay for this thing. That's what's the catch. That's how people don't alipia. That's how the price can be at 50,000. Because if you want the phone without the bloatware and nini, you utapata phone, but you can get it at a higher price.
Yeah, kama kuna brains.
But now you see, not everyone. They're trying to make it decently priced. You can afford, and you see the value in it.
Yeah.
The speakers are good. See, I'm only the speakers.
Yeah, the speakers are jamming.
The speakers are good. They are loud enough. Actually, like way louder than their stereo speakers. Actually. So even if when you're watching content on it's hitting both. Yeah.
Both ears.
The screen is good. You can consume content on it. Maybe seem to like big phones and so, but I was trying to like learn to live with it. But it's good at consuming content. Even like gaming on it, it works.
Yeah, I gamed on the Pro. It's the second or that was the second or the third last in the series.
The difference is mine is the third, I think.
Yeah.
So with another one
it felt good on gaming. Although it's not a gaming phone, I don't advise you guys to go and game on it. But it's let me say it's giving. Yeah, Gen Z's, but I'm subscribed, but I'm saying
it's not giving. It's what you were saying, it's giving.
Yeah.
It's not a gaming phone, but it handles it. It's actually really fast. I love this 120 hertz display. Refresh.
Yeah, even the speed of the phone is actually good. In the mid-range phone, this is good compared to the others.
Very fast.
Yeah,
very fast. It's snapping.
Yeah, and those are not my remarks. Someone said actually that on social media.
These are my remarks. Me, I've used this phone.
Yeah.
Yes, use it for me. My most phones that I use are not like they don't max. They don't pass like 60 hertz. I think 90 hertz you can understand. So now to have an experience with like 120 hertz, where everything is snappy. Of course, the screen you can move even very fast. It's very it contributes to like the phone being snappy and all. But also generally, if you tap on an app, it opens fast. Meaning that also the processor is working really good. It is fast, and the RAM is also contributing. You can do a lot. Unaweza multitask really well, and wherever you left the last application,
utaipata.
You know, there are those phones where ukitoka in this app, you go back. Well, mostly I see it happen on like TikTok, something like that on TikTok. On TikTok, if you leave On other phones, you go back, you won't be at the same spot. It will refresh, it will restart it again. Like, the phone is decent.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys tell us, how has this video been? How has the audio been? Do you think, because this is quite a distance for the camera, you can see the clarity, you can see everything how it is. Do you think you can get the phone to use it? Yeah, to use it, because us, we are using it on a podcast. You tell us now, you can imagine on the close-up and all this. We have another content that is coming in also with the phone. You'll get to see, get to like, get to share. And it's been the home edition. I'm your host, Jessy.
And I'm your host, Victor. Subscribe. Follow us on all other platforms, for Twitter, we're on Facebook, we are on YouTube. Of course, you're watching this on YouTube. Yeah, I'm not about any shorts now. Like, you're watching this on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever, man. Follow. And we have a shop. We have an online shop. Buy merch, merchandise. Yeah. How will they know you're a tech fan? If
But
you're not
now we are
a
being
fan of
taxed.
TikTok.
We're being taxed. Just buy the shirts and bro.
Anyway, it was nice. You guys.
See you.